Good morning and welcome to chapter 1 of Breaking Dawn. I've decided not to do the preface because it does absolutely nothing. It serves no purpose to the story except kind of make the fangers go, "Woo, Edward! Yay, he's back." So let's get on. It's called chapter 1, Engaged, which obviously refers back to Eclipse, where they got engaged, but if you want, check Wikipedia, I might post a link to it. So Bella starts off in this like fancy new car because apparently hers died, and she's driving through Forks because she's got basically no fuel, though she says that she hasn't gone anywhere, so why she has no fuel is like confusing to me, because if you really are trying to avoid going anywhere at all, how do you run out of fuel? But I'm suspecting Edward killed her truck, because her truck was my favourite character, and Edward seems to kill my favourite characters. James, Victoria, yeah, he killed them, so he kills my favourite character, so he killed the truck. This one is like, I don't actually see the point in this chapter. Nothing happens. She's at the petrol station or gas station, and some guys point out her car and like start taking pictures of it and say about, oh, it's for like dignitaries in the Middle East and it's not out in Europe yet. I didn't think it would be out here and stuff, which kind of means that I think this car might be illegal in the US, but I don't know. My parents drive instructors. Doesn't mean I know anything about car law except road markings. But she says about an Ivy League college. Could someone clear me up? That means a really good university, right? That's not just like a sixth form college like we have here. Sorry, I really should have like some kind of guide to stuff. I'm sorry, I really am. But yeah, that carries on for a couple of minutes, and then she starts going on about, oh, it has body armour, 4,000 pounds of body armour and missile-proof glass. Nice, whatever happened to old-fashioned bulletproof? And it's like, yeah. She thinks that Edward's gone too far with like the keeping her safe, and that he might think it's a bit of a joke, and then dismisses it as like, oh well, he's probably just being overprotective and stuff, and that makes no sense. And I actually think with her first assumption, yes, Edward is taking the piss of you, Bella, because I swear he's gonna, like, on your honeymoon, bludgeon you to death and then you of blood to make clones so that him and his family never have to, like, hunt animals again, because they'll just go, oh, get the other Bella clone out and then we can all feed off of her. Yeah, I'd quite like to see that. That should be the sequel to this. Okay. It has, like, other things, and also then she's like driving home and she sees loads of posters of her favourite mechanic, who we know is Jacob, but she's just trying to put it off. She says, my best friend, my Jacob, and for one, you've never been a great friend to him, Bella, so piss off. Quill or Embry is his best friend, and really Lee should be. Leah. I think he'd get along with Leah if Maya stopped abusing that girl. But and then she says about like how it's Charlie being stupid and that he'll come back when he wants to, and apparently there's a place called Aberdeen in the Olympic Peninsula. Now, I've been to Aberdeen. I was quite sure that it was in Scotland, but seeing as there is a Bristol in America and I live quite close to the original Bristol, and there's a Boston in America, and I've been to the Boston in England, I just think, sorry, I'm really insulting America. I actually quite like some things that come out of America, and I'm just not used to the culture. So then she starts calling Seth, and I kind of like Seth. He's one of my favourite characters, which probably means that Edward will kill him in this book. Sad. I know that he doesn't, but still. And then they actually have a almost nice conversation. Except for Bella being a whiny little thing. And Seth reminds me of Jacob back in New Moon. I guess he's supposed to, but I quite like Seth because he stays himself. He stays the little puppy dog guy who follows Jacob around and wants to be his friend and stuff. And that's kind of cute because my little cousins can be like that. She asks how Jacob is, and says that Seth says that he won't talk, and he's trying not to think human and going with his instincts, which is understandable because Bella kind of slapped him in the face. I mean, it's her fault that he's gone because as far as I understand, she was the one that sent him the wedding invite. Or maybe Edward. Well, if it was Edward, that makes sense because Edward is his dickhead. Apparently the pack hates Bella, which I can understand, because I hate Bella, and by the looks of it, Edward hates Bella too. So yeah, and Charlie is apparently very worried about things, and then we get this flashback about them telling Charlie that they're getting married, and there's this whole pointless conversation in which Charlie basically says, I don't want you to, but okay. And at one point he accuses her of being pregnant, which actually makes sense, because that's, to my understanding, why a lot of teenagers get married. I mean, I never would, even if I was, but I don't believe in getting married before you're 24, but that's my own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's definitely my opinion, but everyone is. Okay, so Charlie then kind of pulls it out and goes, well, you got to call your mum. And I can just imagine him laughing while he says it. And for some reason, her mum, who hates underage marriage and apparently thinks it's like some kind of sin or something, or young marriage or something, because she went through it and it ended, I don't know how it ended, Maya never says, and apparently it's in the Twilight Guide, and apparently it's appalling, so, but I'm never going to buy that book. I'll just wait until it comes out of the library. Actually, here we said, early marriage was higher up on her blacklist than boiling puppies. Why is she okay with her daughter doing it? That makes no sense, Maya. Just keep your characters right. Get Renee to, refuse to go to the wedding and put some conflict in Bella's life and make her miserable, genuinely miserable, not like this whole thing you've been giving us the entire time and saying, oh, I'm so miserable that I'm in fraud, it's so sad. But the more I'm reading this, the more it looks like Bella is only marrying Edward for the sex, and we get this whole scene of Alice forcing Charlie into a suit and then getting Bella to try on her wedding dress, and Bella has to stand still, and Alice tells her to go to her happy place, and apparently her happy place is Edward, which just means she's kind of sad. My happy place is, it's Kirkland in the north of England, or it's and this is about to go over 10 minutes, so I'm just going to get into this last quote that proves that she's marrying him for sex. Human and passionately in love, I wanted to complete the experience before I traded in my warm, breakable, pheromone-ridden body for something strong, beautiful, and unknown. I wanted a real honeymoon with Edward, and despite the danger he feared this would put me in, he agreed to try. And that just proves it. She is marrying him for sex. And then the chapter basically ends. And then chapter 2 will be coming up soon, but today I have an exam, so that's all I can get in. But chapter 1 was exactly as expected! Yay. Bye bye YouTube!